So we're going to be discussing purchase orders, how to create purchase orders. You're going to create purchase orders in Brahmin to basically bring in inventory from a specific vendor. Purchase orders will basically help you to keep track of what's incoming into your warehouse. It's going to help you keep track of, as you create purchase orders, you're going to keep track of pricing by specific vendor if the pricing changes. So there's a lot of advantages to purchase orders. So I'm going to show you how to create them. There's two ways. One is to manually create it by selecting the vendor. Then the other one is actually going off of our automated report, which is a reorder report. Okay. So for this video, we're primarily going to show you how to create a purchase order off of this reorder report. We have a specific video for reordering. All right. So here it's going to show you a list of all the items that you're short based on the reorder points, min and max. And it's going to show you the suggested reorder quantity. All right. The suggested reorder quantity right now is in the lowest unit of measure. So it's going to say, I need 6,894 pounds. Okay. All right, so you can select this and generate a PO. So it will bulk line items that have the same vendor. Okay, so I can do this and then say generate a purchase order quickly. All right, again, the items are going to be in the reorder report until I finalize the PO. All right, so that's one way. The other way is going into new purchase and actually just typing in the vendor or doing a vendor lookup, selecting the vendor, and then start adding the items in. All right. So here I'm going to add the items in. Let's say I'm going to put in all right. And if your items have essentially the purchase pricing, so here I'm going to look at this product. I might not have the purchase. Maybe you don't set up the pricing because pricing is often changing. But if your pricing is consistent, meaning like you get a set of prices, you can just import this pricing into the system. All right. So this, I'm going to put this at $1 a pound. Okay. Also, another thing that you can do is I'll re-add the line in. Also, your items could come in different unit of measure. So you can purchase something in like a case, which is, 50 pounds, for example, like this cocoa powder is, right? So here, I've set it up multi-unit of measure, right? And so I can actually order in that secondary unit of measure. So here, let's say the price is 87.5. And then for this, let's add the sugar in. See, the pricing is automatically populated once I add it. So let's say I'm going to order 100 pounds of sugar and let's say 5 cases of the cocoa powder. Okay. So then all I need to do is, a purchase order has multiple statuses. So here we have a safe status, a confirmed, in process, and fulfilled. So what I could do is actually just keep it in a draft status because let's say I don't know if there's going to be any changes. I'm still building out this PO. So if you're still building out this PO, you can put this in a saved status. So the order isn't saved. Okay. That means you can make edits. It's super easy to edit. Everything is editable, right? So if I go over to my purchase order screen, you'll see that here's a list of all my saved POs. Okay. All right. So here, what I could do is when I'm ready to finalize it, I come over here, enter in the expected date. I can also go directly from creating a PO right to confirmed if the PO isn't going to change much. And I mean, it's ready to go and I'm ready to email the vendor. All right. So here I'm going to say the lead time is typically like 14 days. I'll expect it by March 17th. I can put in a reference order number once I email this out to my supplier, vendor, and they give me a reference order number. It's essentially their sales order number. You can put that here. Okay. Other things that you can do, these things are typically defaulted, like the price list and the currency is typically defaulted at the vendor side. But you can change it if you need to. Put in the reference order number. Couple things that you could do on a PO. You can create memos. Maybe you create the PO, you email it out. So you can email it out by clicking the email button. You can also pre-create a template. So it pre-populates the message and then you can just edit it and send email. And you can also add other attachments as well. All right. can also print out this PO itself, where basically this is the PO document that's sent in the email. So you can print this out yourself and then email it out manually as well. It's up to you, whatever makes sense for you. All right, so once that's there, you send out the PO. They send back a sales order number or a reference order number. You can type in the reference order number here so that you know that, okay, so maybe that's the reference order number. Let's say they come back and they say, well, we need to make some changes. Maybe pricing is different. You can go back here and edit the PO and basically make any changes. So here I can edit and then resend the PO out to your vendor. Okay. All right. And then let's say, pricing changes have been made, or maybe the supplier is saying, look, this is going to be delayed more. You can actually just change the expected date to a later date and then make a memo of it or a note. So typically memos are going to be internal notes. It's going to be timestamped by when the memo was created. PO expected date changed from March 17th to set this here, March 17th to, let's say, April 1st. Okay, so I'm just going to make a note of it. Again, I could come back and see why this PO was so late. So I know here I can make a note of it as well. I can add attachments if I need to. Any documents, maybe they send in a PDF. I could throw the PDF here. I can always reference it. All right, and then here we have the details. These are just details that are preloaded based on the specific vendor. All right, so this is how you create a purchase order. There's a couple of things you could do if, let's say, if they're shipped from it's coming from a different facility. You can change that as well. The ship to is your warehouse, and the contact information is the contact information that's on the vendor. Okay, so that's how you create purchase orders in Brahmin. Couple other things, you can actually import the line items of a PO rather than manually entering it in. You could do that. So if you place the PO automatically and then you want to come in, enter it into Brahmin, or maybe you have a purchasing manager that has it created in a spreadsheet, and then you want to just import that in, you could do that as well. All right. And then you can also duplicate a PO. So if there's an older PO that you essentially are reordering the same thing again, you can either pull up an older PO, something that's been fully fulfilled. So I can just come here and say, well, we're going to order the same thing here. Action, duplicate a purchase order, and create that as well. Okay, so that's how you create a purchase order. How you essentially, briefly, how you email a PO, make any changes, and so on. All right. So watch the other videos to learn how to process the PO, like receiving and then billing and so on. Okay. Thank you.